Switching gears, lawmakers are raising concerns about their use of prediction markets and potential insider trading. They're considering a proposal to ban members of Congress from using the markets, but it's not just Congress that could get the new rule. The ban would also apply to members of the executive branch, like the president and the vice president, as well as Supreme Court justices. Joining us for our final topic this morning, Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. All right, Khalif, lawmakers have talked about years, banning stock trading by Congress. Now you're looking at justices and the executive branch, the judicial branch. Why are these other branches all being pulled into this conversation?
Well, I can read it right from Congressman Landman, one of the folks that's pushing this forward. He says that with public trust in all three branches, so not just one, all three branches of the federal government at all-time low, I believe it's in the court's interest. He's specifically addressing that to proactively inform the public of the justices and the court employees are not currently participating in prediction markets. He says that many court employees, justices, law clerks, judicial assistants, and other staff have inside information on crucial Supreme Court decisions. Think about it. Last week, they had 4 or 5, blockbuster type of cases. If you're on the inside, you know which way they're leaning because you already have oral arguments. Now, after oral arguments, you have these justices that are drafting their opinions, and then they're going to decide which opinion they're going to either concur on or dissent from. So they've been working on these for a number of days, a number of weeks. In between the time of oral arguments, the opinion being read, a lot of stuff can happen in between there. And what he's saying is, and other individuals in Congress are saying, is there's not enough regulation around, well, is that considered insider trading, which you would assume that it is. That already is banned, bans a number of judicial officials, bans a number of congressional members. And so should that or would that fall under there? And if it doesn't, we need laws in place to make sure that that type of stuff, using that information to engage in prediction markets would stop.
I mean, it's clear an ethical issue here when you look at this. Are we seeing this happening behind the scenes, or is this something that this is a preventative measure?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you can point to a couple things. Most of the current framework for any of this, if we're talking about legislators or our court officials or the executive branch, is more for transparency and more for after the fact in terms of disclosure. We're saying, hey, are you involved with something? Disclose it later and then we can figure it out. This is more preventative. We don't even want it to occur. Because we don't want it to occur, we're going to stop it at the beginning. I think you can point to talking about the court 2023. Following the undisclosed gifts and travel involving Supreme Court justice, the court came out with its own code of conduct, but it still was a self-reporting type of code of conduct, which you can say, all right, we're going to step away, or I can decide to step away from a case if I have a conflict. But it really didn't address, and it doesn't specifically prohibit justices from owning individual stocks. So addition to this proposed law being something that would stop prediction markets, it also wants them to stop both Congress and judicial officials from having and owning individual stocks. Because they're saying, listen, you can go ahead and trade in the market. You can be someone that has the SPY or QQQ, one of the entire ETFs, but are you going to be able to go own Tesla? Or should you be able to own Ford? Why? Because now you have an individual connection to those individual companies, which now would give you at least a higher percentage opportunity to have some type of interaction with those companies.
Yeah, and a conflict of interest.
Market, different. If you're trading an individual stock, okay, maybe we don't want that to happen.
But quickly, does this go down to family members too, or just the person that's holding the office?
Well, if the person that's holding the office has inside information and then your family member now is trading on it, I mean, look at Nancy Pelosi, for instance, probably one of the most prolific traders in Congress. Her husband is extremely successful as well. A number of those things would connect to family members if you're dealing with that specific company and now you're trading on that and you're having them, in hearings. Yeah, that would, I think there's enough law in place already to prevent that. That's just straight insider trading. The prediction markets are opening up doors that the laws are not catching up with quick enough.
There's a green light proposal, you think?
Definitely.
Definitely green light. All right, we'll see where it goes from here. Khalif, thanks. Appreciate it.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.